on board Dr. Auma Obama, who has a foundation, on the importance of addressing the infrastructure part, but also mentorship for the youth.
I think I don't come here as an expert. I come as a Kenyan who is coming to learn about the Somali culture. So I just wanted to correct that, and I'm very grateful to be able to be here for that. The other thing is, I'd like to say that I really second all of what you've just said, because the problem that you're experiencing in Northeastern is not a Northeastern problem. I work in the rural part of Western Kenya, and we have exactly the same problem. The schools are neglected, they're not prioritized in the same way. I beg to be, corrected on that one, and people leave. So one of the things that we have done, my organization is called Sauti Kuu, which means powerful voices, and by powerful voices, behind that, we're telling children and young people to take responsibility for their lives. We extend that to their parents, to the communities, and I talk to the children directly, because I see that there are quite a number of you. It's taking responsibility in understanding what is your right as a young person. And one of the key rights of young people is education. The problem we have in our rural areas, Western is similar to Northern, is that we have not created an infrastructure. An infrastructure that is attractive enough for the local community to want to stay there and develop that area, to grow that area, and also for non-locals to want to come there and stay. So even in this crisis that we've talked about and has been very much televised and in the media, the ones who actually stayed of the non-locals were those who had been integrated into the culture and had become one of that community. The many who left were still very unfamiliar with that community. The infrastructure didn't speak to them. So what we have done, to give you as an example, because my program is a pilot project, which I hope will be spread out all over East Africa, in particular in Kenya, is we've created an infrastructure. And what we did when we started that, and I hear in the discussion, what for me a little bit I say is that before we worry so much about what the non-locals are doing, we should ask ourselves, what are we doing? I see the representation here is very great because it's a Kenyan Somalian representation. I was talking about that earlier and saying that is really wonderful. That is the first step. When you own the crisis, when you decide we are going to do something about it as the locals and not look and over our shoulder to say, how is the government helping us? I say that with caution. How are the others helping us? That's the first step towards making improvement. What I mean with that is that all of those who leave, as you say yourself, who leave that community and basically get jobs that are not marketable in that community, need to look back and start giving back to that community. That is the infrastructure that I am trying to create. Looking at that gap, talking to the children and saying, what would make you stay in your community? What are the things that we need to create that will keep you there? But you will still thrive, you will make money, you will enjoy being there. So look at what the infrastructure is currently. You've already said it. It's not very different from what it was during the colonial period. What have we done in the last 50 years? That is the big question. And when we address that and start taking ownership, that's when the changes will happen. The other problem that is there that we also have is we've not made it attractive in the sense that the things we target in terms of what can move the young people forward are not things that are in the community that are needed. Vocational training. We've put up a vocational center to teach young people that it's not just a white-collar job, working behind a desk, that is going to move you forward. You can also work with your hands, which is called a blue-collar job, which means, thank you, you can be a plumber, you can be an electrician, you can be all of those things, because believe you me, young people, that is the future. We don't have any good electricians, we don't have good plumbers, we don't have good welders, and those people are going to be the ones making the money. In Europe today, if you need an electrician to come to your house, you will pay 6,000 shillings just to get him to come and look at the problem before he's even touched anything. And we're heading that way. And that is what we need to market to the young people. The guys who sit behind a desk and moving paper, they make no money. It is a myth. So we have to address these issues, and we have to teach the young people. But we can't just tell them, go back home. If there's nothing there, they want to have fun. They want to be able to maybe watch a movie. They want to be able to go on the internet. They want to be able to have a library. They want to be able to do sports. All these things have to be created in your community. So I think part of the idea of mentorship, when you talk about mentorship, is not just encouraging young people, oh, we need to go back, we need to embrace our culture. I honestly believe the young people ask you, what does our culture give me? Especially the ones living in Nairobi. They will not go back, let's be real. Until we create an environment that makes it conducive to them to want to live there, they won't go back. We need to encourage teachers, and not just encourage them by telling them come and work there. You need to give them a good salary, you need to give them a quality training, and you need to create an environment where they can also know that they will retain those students. Because we ourselves, our children, we actually have our children going to the best schools, and mainly they're in Nairobi. So we ourselves have to look at how we deal with the problem. So for me, mentorship, the first thing that it means for me is ownership. Own the problem and solve it locally.
Thank you very much. That is well put. Ambassador Afe,